Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Project Ramadan's first podcast. So we're very excited to start this podcast series. It will be a 5-part series for you guys. Hopefully you enjoy it throughout the month of Ramadan. We do have our very first guest, Aisha. She's not only someone that I worked on PR with for many years, but she's also my friend. So it's great to have you on today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for this conversation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So would you like to introduce yourself and what do you do in Project Ramadan?
So Aisha Hussein, I've been volunteering with Project Ramadan, I don't even know, over
So
10
long.
years.
Yeah.
I've been trying to retire for some time.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I am just supporting in an advisory capacity now. We established like a mini board that's just meant solely to be advisory, just to help support new volunteers and then help provide guidance where necessary to the executive leadership team, just with the experience that we have and some of the things that we've encountered over the years.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is like food insecurity in Canada right now? What does it look like?
Food insecurity in Canada right now, I'm actually going to bring up some stats on my phone because I think this is really important to share, and typically would not do this on a podcast. So just humor me.
It's all good. It's an open forum.
Okay. First of all, we know from when we started volunteering with Project Ramadan how the cost of living was compared to what it is now. You know, increased immigration. We have increased food prices, tariffs now. A lot of
Another headache.
The economic landscape has changed, and we're seeing job losses. So there's so many variables that are affecting families in our communities. So I think that when we take a step back and we look at like what does food insecurity look like in Canada, it could look like anything. It could impact anybody. You never know. There's many people who are encountering food insecurity and they hide it so well because they don't want to be looked at like the other or less than.
Yeah.
So I think like when we talk about food insecurity, I think we have to go in with some compassion and some empathy and some respect, but just some stats. And like the source is from the Who Hungry report. But right now, the one thing that I saw that like just kind of like stuck out to me was 340% increase of utilization of food banks, 140% from
what time?
2019 to 2025.
Okay, 6 years.
Yeah. 4.1 million people in Canada are using food banks. There is just some like really crazy stats here that surprised me. 37% of food bank users are employed.
What?
Yep. 57% of some of those people facing food insecurity have post-secondary educations. This is why I think it's so important to kind of like take a step back and realize that like food insecurity doesn't have a one-size-fits-all depiction. And seeing these numbers, you know, skyrocket from when we started supporting this project and doing the work that we're doing to see like where we are now, I think so much more has to be done.
Of course. Yeah. In terms of like Ramadan, right? Why is it especially difficult for families facing food insecurity?
I don't think it's like necessarily just Ramadan. I think that when we kind of look at the efforts that we're doing, I think that there's an element of like, this is a continuous challenge. I think the added layer of Ramadan is that it's meant to really bring us together and have that sense of community. And I think when we are, you know, going through the effort of fasting and putting ourselves in the shoes of those who are facing these challenges every day, I think it's that connection that really humbles and centers us to make us aware that this is something that these families are encountering on an everyday basis. And we experience this through that period of time during Ramadan. And I think that's that connection of what brings it together.
It brings it home.
Yeah, I think that's
sense.
kind of like my personal perspective on it.
Let's bring it back to the creation of PR. So talk about that. How did PR get started?
Yeah. So Project Ramadan started actually with a small group of gentlemen from the Scarborough area that saw food insecurity happening and the challenges within the community, but they wanted a more hands-on approach of being involved, not just fundraising money.
Right.
And so this group of gentlemen, they approached Muslim Welfare Canada, and at the time Muslim Welfare Center, and asked them to collaborate with them and help them with the supplies. And more or less decided like, hey, we'll help fundraise and cover the cost of the food. Fast forward, I don't even know how many years ago that was now. It's been,
I think it's 18.
Like, it's crazy.
17 or 18
like
years.
Crazy how an idea that started has carried on for so many years with so many different people being involved over this time. But like, I don't think when those guys were starting this thought that 18 years later, this project that they created in concept would still continue and would evolve to what it is today. But they saw a need in the community and they wanted to do something about it. And I personally just got involved as a general volunteer. It was me just seeing it online like everybody else. That's how I heard about it.
Okay.
And I signed up and, went to as many builds as I possibly could get through. And then, they asked me at the time if I wanted to help in an executive capacity. I think like when you look at what it was, how it's evolved, over time, I can't you were part of the exec team, like how many people have come and volunteered, whether it be in an executive capacity, because there's been so many people who've spent their time and effort working hard behind the scenes to make this project a success. But seeing how it has evolved and grown and how many families we've supported over the years, alhamdulillah, like that we've had this opportunity to do this for as long as we have been. I know I have been trying to retire, but I see like the outcomes that this yields and the benefits that are realized. And so it's so hard for me to like take a full step back, but I do give grace and space for the team to do what they need to do.
That's awesome. Actually, it was through you that I also started with Project Ramadan. It's been 8 years, something like that. But it was her coming to me and saying, there's this really great organization. Do you want to be a part of it? And I'm like, okay, what does this entail? And look at us 9 years later. Here we are, right? And speaking of time span, right? So from 10 years since you started versus now, what are the changes that you've seen?
Gosh, number one, like the volume of families that need help. Like the cost of food products. Like I think our food basket was like $50, $60. Now it's not, it's $90, right? So just seeing that transition of time. Like, alhamdulillah, we've always been really lucky to have great volunteers. Like, I couldn't be more, like, grateful for that. But also navigating the change from from summer to winter. Like, just seeing the amount of people who are in need is, I think, the biggest thing for me. And just knowing that we're able to contribute to some of that kind of is probably the biggest thing that I've seen as a change over time.
No, that makes a lot of sense. There has been a lot of increase, obviously, like you said. In terms of Project Ramadan beyond food, what is Project Ramadan beyond food?
That's a tough question. Giving me the tough ones.
I know. Sorry.
What is Project Ramadan beyond the food? Honestly, like for me, I look at it as like a sense of community. You're able to bring people together from all walks of life during this time. And also being able to bring these people together for a good sole purpose of helping those in need. But the other thing for me is like the personal element of it, where we as Muslims are fasting. We're experiencing that hunger. We're building food baskets while we're fasting. And then being able to connect that, have that intersectionality of like us as Muslims experiencing this fasting where we're challenged because we go from eating and drinking and having our coffee in the morning to absolutely nothing from sunrise to sunset, not even water. It's always like, oh my God, not even water. But like we are now putting ourselves in those shoes of those people. And I think that it humbles you and it makes you have a different appreciation for this experience. Because like, as many people know, I've always preferred kind of being in the background, working with the beneficiaries, and meeting them and hearing their stories and the different organizations that we partner with, and seeing the outcome of all that hard work from everybody else. So for me, I always just take that step back and connect those struggles of like us trying to get through our Ramadan and that struggle, and then seeing the reality of those beneficiaries.
Yes.
And then I think for me, like, I don't know if I'm answering that question, but
no, perfect. Yeah, it is about community, and it's about your personal kind of willing to do something like this, right? So I think that's really great. Now, in terms of how can people support Project Ramadan?
So there's so many different ways to support Project Ramadan. First and foremost, if you're fortunate enough, I know our events do fill up very quickly.
Oh, it's hot commodity.
So the second the sign up goes up, I think
what is it? Is 5 it like 5 minutes? Okay.
But beyond that, you can create a fundraising campaign. If you have an opportunity, you can become a sponsor. Sponsorship is really important for us. You can spread the word. You can contribute in different ways, whether it's partnering up and volunteering on the executive team or just being a general volunteer. We actually have a community of general volunteers that we tap on their shoulders for being team leads at the builds and kind of helping to set up before the build occurs. So there's some logistical stuff that those general volunteers help with. Like I said, just donations. I think it's always tough to cover the cost of the food,
especially rising costs,
that we aim to fundraise. And just so like people understand, like, we're 100% volunteer run. Even though we collaborate with Muslim Welfare Canada, the amount of time that the team's putting in to organize this is 100% volunteer run. And so many of the exec team and the general volunteers are not employees of Muslim Welfare Canada. They are solely just volunteers and doing this out of the kindness and goodness of their hearts. So I think those are probably the top ways in which I think you could get involved. But, you know, following us on social media, keeping up with what we have going on in the community. I was hearing a story how someone just found out about our build through Eventbrite.
Yes.
So just following our socials, like on Instagram, Project Ramadan, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, visiting our website at projectramadan.com. Spreading the word. I think even just spreading the word of mouth is so important. Absolutely. So those are just like the things I'm thinking off the top of my head.
No,
like
I think that covers everything.
People could get involved.
Thank you so much. That was very informative.
Thank you.
No, I really appreciate it. You shed a lot of light, right, on the creation of Project Ramadan and also kind of where we are today. And that is what we need to focus on, right? So like Aisha said, we are all over social media. You know, we look forward to the other podcasts that we're going to be doing. So again, please, you know, we ask that you help us and support us. ProjectRamadan.com. You can go to any of our social media to get more information. And we look forward to the other episodes that will be coming up this Ramadan. So thanks again to you and to our viewers as well. And we hope you have a blessed Ramadan.